you need to cut the zip tie off, you can go ahead and do that. I wouldn't recommend it because then your wires get all over the place, but here's our split cable that we had cut off. So everything else is good. These are our 3 we're going to keep. Alright, so back into here. Now, you're going to need your new motor. Go ahead and unwrap it. I can tell you the shipping on these has been a little wonky, so I'll show you what to look for. This shaft here, sometimes there's this housing right here, the bearing, sometimes is broken. These little tabs will break off because when they wrap it with the shrink wrap, it pulls it in too far and they break it. It's not a big deal as long as you can get the bushing back in its place, because when it goes back into the housing here, those C-clips are going to hold it good and tight. So here's our little ground wire we were talking about. Don't pull it by this by itself. Grab the actual black part of the cable, or you can try and unwind this tape, but if you grab the black part, you should be good to just pull it like this. If you pull it by just that, you're probably going to pull that off, and then you'll have to resolder that housing onto the cable. So, motor goes in this way. The black cable goes through this ribbon cable, and you can pull it up like so. I would go ahead and make your connection here just to make it easier, like that, and then just set it right there for the moment, because you need to get this guy back. This is your top rollers here. I find it's easier to hold the belt, hold it all together like that. You see these grooves right here, you got one over there, and you see you gotta move this over to get it to fall into place right there. The bottom one should be in place already down here. So what you want to do is get your shaft there into your hole and just try and set it down in place. The belt sometimes gets in the way, so you gotta walk it over a little bit, but the motor has to be sitting flush without having any play in it, otherwise it's probably going to bind up on you somewhere. What I would do is put it in place and then just spin your rollers like that and make sure they spin freely. Once you think you have the position right, which I don't think I have it right there, feels, see how it wobbles? That's not 100% right in my opinion. Alright, there we go. So once it's there though, you can kind of lean forward a little bit to get this, you gotta get this front one on. That one is very hard to get on once the motor's in place. But once it's there, make sure your belt is on top of the mount. Alright, so you see we're snapped in good there. The back motor, usually you can just roll the belt onto that one. Like so. And that's in place. So now you want to go back Get your screws that have the flat head and the coarse thread. You need 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to put those back in place. Always go backwards when you screw metal screws into plastic. Oop, try not to drop them in there. Can't see. Alright, there we go. Hear it snap into place there when you go backwards on the threads. Once again, this belt gets in the way, so if you just move it out the way a little bit, it'll help you get your, oh man, come on, screw, work with me. Because you can pinch the belt down with that screw, and then you'll have to come all back in here. Put a little separation in between your belts here. Alright. The motor is now secure. The rollers are in. Next is going to be the housings on this shaft here, which is going to be this grommet, which when you lift this up, you're going to put it in facing down. It's going to line up. Just push it in and then rotate it. There is a little peg on the end of it that you can put. There's a hole for it. Just kind of snaps in there. Once you have that in, you're going to put your small gear first, which is keyed. So you get that one in. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. We gotta put the C-clamp on this end first. Once again, they're plastic, so you can kind of do them by hand. If you feel like it didn't snap in, you can kind of pull a shaft this way just a little bit, just squeeze it, and then you'll see it's in there now. So now we put our gear, and we put our other C-clip. See how it sticks out like that? You can kind of just flex it and pop it on. Now you see it spins. It's on there. And then we're going to put our big gear on here, which is there. And then we had the little gear that goes on this top piece here. And that's how that's going to stay for the moment. Alright, so now we got to put this piece back in. Now, like I told you before, this top gear has a slit in it. You can see right here, it's angled up already. The screwdriver slides in it. It's kind of a challenge to get it in, but you want your shaft to be lined up straight. And you kind of want to put it in here like that and just kind of work the plastic around the other piece of plastic back here, but you want to slide it into that shaft like so. Make sure your grommets are in there, and this spring has to be down inside of here. It will be sprung, it's tensioned like that, so that's fine. You can leave it like that. Alright, so once we're there, we're almost done. This needs to go back in. Your gear goes to the side. Get that in place. Grommet, the bushings are in their grooves, which is fine. This joker, pop back up a little bit. Alright, so he's good there. Alright. So now at this point, we're ready to put the top of the clamshell back on. Oh, nope, all right, we gotta put this ground wire through. Let's see, so let's get these cables, everything's got a house, get them routed where they need to go. And it's gonna slide ever so slightly through this hole. It's gonna be a little weird, What I've been doing is just pushing it through a little bit and then using a little pick to grab the ring. And don't pull too hard, like I said, because if you do pull the cable out of it, it can become a problem. Alright, so once you got that, you're good to go on this end. Now we're going to put the clamshell back on, which we want to make sure our cable comes up for this specific one. Some of them don't have this sensor, so the cable's not there. But the cable hooks right here. You just get it pop back up in there. And once it's in there, you can kind of make sure this flag right here, this one, goes in this slot. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad day. All right, so that's there. You kind of just want to jiggle it down. These clips will pop back in. You want to make sure it's all good to go here. Your gears are there. And we're gonna re-screw this. So, once again, fat head screw with the coarse threads. That's gonna hold this top gear in. So we're gonna put that one in. And then we got your 3 regular screws there and your 5 across the top of the clamshell. That one. Always go backwards, otherwise you can cross thread and or strip out the plastic and then your screw won't hold anything. And we're going to put them in these holes back here. More. Got the back 2.